This episode of the Golf Guru Show is brought to you by InVeedHemp.com. As golfers, you know the game creates wear and tear on your body and mind. InVeed CBD products can organically rejuvenate you. They come in 3 varieties: Relief, Clarity, and Relax. Relief CBD products help relieve pain. Clarity allows you to focus on those critical shots. And Relax CBD products are for those anxious golf moments. Right now, I've got an incredible special for you. Go to InVeedHemp.com and use the promo code GURU20 for a 20% discount for life. Now let's get to this week's episode.
It's not what you know, it's what you can prove.
You know how to cut to the core of me, Baxter. You're so wise. You're like a miniature Buddha covered in hair.
I want to become a guru so girls will like me. Then I will like myself.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?
Now, before we do this, let's go over the ground rules. Rule number 1. No touching of the hair or face.
Of course.
And that's it! Now let's do this!
What is up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Golf Guru Show. I am Jason Sutton, and I am the Guru. Before you listen to this episode, make sure you download this episode and all the other episodes, previous episodes of the Golf Guru Show, and hit that purple subscribe button so you don't miss any future podcasts that will be coming your way. I am very excited about my next guest, as it is my very own son, Nicklaus Sutton. Nick is a Division I golfer that plays for Tennessee Tech University. He just finished up his first semester at Tech, and I was very excited to sit down with Nick and have him take us through his journey through junior golf, and now that he's playing at the collegiate level as well. I wanted to have Nick share his story because I felt like it was a very inspiring one, and hopefully that it will affect some junior golfers out there that were looking to play college golf, because his journey was not exactly a smooth one. It was full of ups and downs, adversity and disappointment, which in my opinion makes him what he is today. The way he's come out of it and the way he's handled his adversity, I think, has made him stronger and has definitely made him a better player and also a better person. But in the end, his story had a happy ending, and he is now in a great place in his life and his golf career and living one of his dreams, which is to play collegiate golf. In this awesome conversation, we talk about how he dealt with the hard times and how his faith, his belief, and his hard work pulled him through. And as you can tell from this conversation, I'm extremely proud of this young man. And I just hope that there are juniors out there that can gain some insight from this conversation and Nick's story. So without further ado, let's get to my conversation with my son, Nicklaus Sutton. Enjoy. All right, Nicklaus, welcome to the show. Thanks so much for taking the time.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Finally, we've talked about doing this forever, and now I think it's finally going to happen. So let's create a timeline for the listener and sort of put a timestamp on where we are right now, because you just finished your first semester as a college golfer, as a D1 golfer. You're playing golf at Tennessee Tech University, where you get to play all the tournaments this fall. You had a nice little semester, which we can kind of go into later on, but just wanted to kind of give the listeners an idea before we get into your journey of sort of how you got there, right? Because it wasn't an easy one, right? So it's definitely, I think, a good story that could help give junior golfers out there some hope and give them some guidelines into sort of how you got to where you are, and also junior golf parents out there that are, going through it with their child that wants to play college golf. So, I've been along the way, so I can definitely, I've seen it all, and I've been with you as your dad and as your as your swing coach, so I can definitely help fill in the blanks of some of the things that you don't remember or maybe don't want to remember, as you were coming up through it. So let's kind of get to the beginning. So, when did you get into golf? Kind of give us a little bit of context of like how you got into the game and when you started playing.
Yeah, I started playing golf when I was 3 years old. I think you just threw a club in my hand, and I was like, all right, let's do it. But, I played golf when I was 3 years old, and then started playing some other sports. I played football, I think, when I was 7 until the end of 6th grade, and actually hated golf once I started playing football. I think I remember telling you that it was a wussy sport and that no one likes golf.
Yeah.
And then started playing football and then realized that I wasn't going to be a middle linebacker. I was like, how big was I? Do you think?
You were the smallest person on the team. I know you were just tiny.
I mean, I was never afraid to hit, but it wasn't going to go very far.
Yeah.
So I remember asking Mom. I was like, I remember this very vividly. I was like, do you think I've got a better chance of playing golf or football, like in the long run? She was like, golf for sure. And obviously she's going to say that. She doesn't want me to get hurt and stuff.
Yeah. Maybe for mom reasons, right?
Yeah. But, so then I started playing tournament golf when I was probably 9 or 10 years old. I never played the 9-holers. I don't know if you remember that. I never played a 9-hole U.S. Kids
Did you
event.
not?
No.
I thought you did.
No, I went straight into 18. My first tournament was an 18-hole tournament.
That's interesting. Yeah, I guess you're right.
So most junior golfers always start when they're really young and they're playing 9-holers and stuff, and they kind of work their way up. So it was a little different.
You did play
straight into 18.
You did play a little bit of baseball, right? I mean,
yeah.
I thought it was about a year, I think, a season maybe, or complete season of like Little League baseball.
Yeah, I played baseball. Was it? I think it was. I mean, it was kid pitch. Like
yeah. It
so
was.
we were
I think you were like 10 or 11.
Yeah,
something like that. And then because I remember taking you to the batting cage all the time.
Yeah.
Like we were videoing your swing.
So bad.
And we were trying to get into it. So, but I think because so many kids nowadays are just trying to play one sport.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you think about that? I mean, do you think that playing football and doing all the agility stuff sort of helped you sort of create your athletic ability, you think?
I honestly, I feel like playing football or playing baseball more of like a team atmosphere. Having a coach, learning to obey your coach was huge going into college golf because, I mean, you're back to team and stuff like that. I feel like that kind of made me discipline and know what was right and what was wrong and the way you should go about yourself on a team. But, and then athletically, it helps a lot too. You see a lot of really good golfers are really athletic, I feel like. So, yeah, I feel like that would
it seems like baseball's definitely was in most you see a lot, Jordan Spieth and all these guys that are on tour, they all played a little bit of baseball or they played something other than golf coming up. And like the kids that I'm teaching now, I mean, most of them are playing basketball or baseball or something that's, I think, really important to just their development from their bodies and their hand-eye coordination.
For sure.
So let's kind of get into when you like you said you started playing tournament golf, you started playing U.S. Kids golf, and you kind of jumped in feet first because you were do you feel like that was sort of when you got obsessed with golf?
Yeah,
like once you started like once you started actually posting scores. I remember, what did you shoot in your first tournament?
Jeez,
it was 100 and something.
Yeah, it was triple digits. It was a lot. And somehow got a trophy for it. I remember getting a little like plaque or whatever.
Yeah, there must have been like 3 kids in your age group or something.
God, it was bad. But I think the highest. I think I shot like 118 one round. Yeah,
I want to say it was like 116 was like your first tournament.
Crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then I was like I love golf and I'm not very good at it, but I'm gonna try and get good at it. And I remember I was out with you at the golf course nonstop while you're teaching. And I would you'd get there at 8:00 and we wouldn't leave until 6. So I mean, I figured out how to practice and all that stuff. But Gosh, I don't even want to think about that.
Isn't that crazy, right? And then, I mean, but you got good pretty quick.
Yeah.
You know, it's like,
yeah.
So going through that process, like, when do you think, I'm trying to think of how old you were, because again, I kind of lose track, just like you do, a little bit of, like, when you set that goal to say, I want to possibly play at the next level. Do you remember that? Or was there an event, like a tournament or something, to say, hey, I really want to play college golf, or you just, you sort of set that goal?
There was.
I remember we had a lot of sticky notes with a lot of
we went
schools and
a lot of dream schools. I remember I think I put every year I'd put my top 4 on the wall, just like as a goal or like something to work towards.
Yeah.
I had to have been probably 12 maybe when I first started like thinking.
I would say you're like 6th grade, something like that. When you started shooting in the 70s, I think about that time.
Yeah, and I never, like, middle school, I never liked school, so I figured I'm not gonna want to just go to college, because I mean I was always gonna go to college, but I didn't want to go to college as just a regular student. I wanted to go as an athlete or as a golfer and kind of do it that way instead of just being a book nerd. But yeah, I don't know when I would, like, I had to have been about 12 when I had first started thinking about playing college golf.
Yeah. And now we're probably getting into TGFs and a little bit bigger tournaments.
Yeah, probably started playing Tar Heels. Because I never played 13 and under. That match play tournament, I never played that. I think my first like big tournament was probably the NC Junior when I was really little. I don't know how old I was.
You were 14, I think. Yeah.
14 and 15. I never played Junior All-Stars. I think I tried to qualify for one. So, I mean, it was AJJ. I loved AJJ. I know some people don't like AJJ. Some people think it's not worth it. But I always liked it because I like to meet new people from all around the country and stuff. And the whole traveling aspect was pretty cool. But, I never played Junior All-Stars, so it was harder to get stars. I had to do it through other tournaments. And then I think when I was probably 16 maybe was when I got into like my first Open.
Yeah.
And then I guess that's kind of when it took off.
Yeah, but I think even before, like, let's backtrack a little bit there, because I think I know I have my memory, because again, I'm looking at it from a coaching standpoint as well as a parent. When I watched you come up, and I never had at that when you were 11 and 12, we never talked about college or anything. I was just happy that you were enjoying the game.
Yeah.
And I had no idea how good you were going to be. Because I mean, looking at it back, when you were coming up, I would not have said you were like the most talented kid.
No.
You know what I mean? With the group of kids you were playing with out at Carmel, right? I feel like you needed to work harder than everybody else. But the first time that I thought, well, maybe you had a little something, I remember you shot 65 or something from the red tees on the North course. You remember that? Remember that day? And you came in, I was like, what? And then I remember asking you this question because I think it's an important question, I think, from coaches and also parents. I said, how did you feel when you got it 7 under? And you were like, I was trying to get it to 10. Like I was trying, like I feel like I could have shot like 60 today or something, I was like, and I thought, well, maybe he's got a little something.
Yeah.
And then I think,
because I know, most kids that age, they get 4 or 5 under, and then they get scared, or they're just like, I don't want to protect, I don't want to mess this round up. But normally that's when you do mess your round up.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. That was so long ago.
Right. And then I think shortly thereafter, I think you shot 66 in a TGF.
Yeah.
And
that was my first round under par.
Yeah.
I shot like 5 under. First tournament round under par, I shot like 5 under and came in. I remember it was I played with Akshay that day.
That's right. Yeah.
And I came in, and I was like, oh, I got to be leading. And I come in, and Akshay shoots like 66 or
he
65
shot one better than you.
He's like, oh, I played so bad. And I was,
and you're like, I careered it.
Yeah, I was like, I careered it, and I'm getting whacked still.
Yeah, but that was kind of the time when I thought, okay, maybe we got a little something.
Yeah.
That, where you got a chance to maybe play at the next level. So take us through, basically, because at that point, I want to say you're probably 7th grade, 6th or 7th grade, something like that. Then we started, thinking about college.
Yeah. Because I know it was probably about eighth grade, because I stopped playing football in 6th grade.
Right.
And that's when I started playing, fully playing golf, playing tournament golf. Because I'd play football, and then in the summer I wouldn't really have anything to do besides football. I guess football started in about August. But then I'd play a few, not that many tournaments in the summer. So I stopped playing football in 6th grade. So it had to have probably been 7th grade.
Yeah, it was 7th grade when you started sending out emails.
Yeah, 7th, 8th grade.
Yeah, because we sort of, we learned a lot going through this recruiting process and talking to other coaches and talking to some of my friends. And well, you need to start reaching out to coaches. I'm like, well, what do you do, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's where it can be really helpful.
We both had no idea.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's I had a lot of kids that I was teaching, but I'd kind of catch them on the back end of when coaches were already looking at them. I've never had a kid that young. So it was really a learning process, I think, for both of us. So I remember, putting together a resume for you.
Yeah.
Through, I think you just shot, then you won the Metro or something. You shot 69 or 68 or something like that. And so I thought, okay, well, now we got something to
Yeah, now we have some numbers we can show.
Right. And that's kind of what the coaches want to see. So obviously you're on, you're kind of on the rise. You're in the top 10, and I think you're in the top, maybe 5th or so, 4th or 5th in your
JGS.
In your age group.
Yeah.
When we started thinking, okay, we definitely want to pursue this. So from what you can remember, take the listeners through from there, going up through high school to when, we started maybe hitting some bumps in the road and maybe had some adversity of sort of what you were thinking.
Yeah. So probably from 8th grade when I started sending emails out, you'd get your occasional responses hey, you'd get this is probably your regular response that they can only send.
The questionnaires, right? That's all they could send you because they couldn't.
Well, yeah, they'd send you questionnaires, but some would email me back and say hey, basically you're young, we're looking at you, blah blah blah. But they can't talk to you until September 1st or junior year, which is so far away from 8th grade.
Yeah.
So I honestly feel like a few kids were starting to commit about 8th grade, or 9th grade, and I'm like, what the heck? What's going on? That,
especially the Texas kids, right?
Yeah,
you were kind of comparing yourself to all these kids that were in the Power 5.
Yeah, Power 5, and so then I guess 9th grade summer, I had a decent summer. Mm-hmm. School started coming out and watching. I think, was it sophomore year when we couldn't have been home for more than 2 weeks over the summer.
Yeah, we were traveling a lot. That's when we started playing AJGAs.
Yeah, we were living out of hotels. I love that kind of life, honestly.
Yeah,
it's so much fun. Then I loved Virginia Tech. They followed. I think Coach Sharp watched at least. He probably watched every tournament I played that summer. I visited. I don't know what other schools did I visit. Yeah,
so then you're skipping ahead a little bit. I'm trying to hold you back. Yeah, no. So then you're sort of and you hadn't won anything big. It was just sort of you were kind of. I would have kind of labeled you as sort of your low D1 kid, right?
Yeah,
so you definitely every coach I talked to they're just kind of waiting for you to have that big finish.
Yeah. Yeah,
but you're always
finished. I had a lot of top 20s.
Right, you were kind of that 15, 20
top
kid.
15s, a couple top 10s.
Right,
and then I never really had that occasional second or that breakthrough win, and that's what I kept telling myself. Is all right, you just that breakthrough win, you're on the map, you're good.
Yeah, and I was obviously allowed to talk to the coaches, so I probably had more conversations than I ever told you.
Yeah, there's probably a lot of things you haven't told me.
Yeah, that I talk to coaches and they're like, yeah, we're very interested. We like the fact that he's got a good coach and he's definitely got the fundamentals and you were little, right? And that was a part of that. Then we know he's going to get bigger because he hadn't got there any growing spurts yet. You were so tiny.
I was probably I had to have been 5'4" maybe.
Yeah, and just 100 pounds.
Yeah, I was so small.
So that was the other thing, and they're like, yeah, we know he's going to get bigger.
And this is in ninth grade. Like,
right.
This is right when everybody's starting to kind of branch out and play other events across the country. But I was 5'4", which is later on it's going to be a big factor, I feel like.
Yeah. So then the coaches say, hey, because when they come watch you play, typically if they're interested, they would say, hey, can you guys come visit?
Yeah.
So then we started.
So you'd go on
we go on some unofficials. So you can kind of talk about that, how you felt as you went on those unofficials.
Yeah. Going on, I don't know what my first visit was freshman year at UNC Charlotte.
Yeah, Charlotte.
With Coach Cabbage. I remember that. He had watched me a little bit, but he also knew you pretty well because you had a few of his players.
Mm-hmm.
So visited there, and then I don't know where I visited after that, like my second visit, but
might have been Tech.
I think it was
because we went to Tech a few times.
Went to Virginia Tech twice. We went to JMU.
Yeah, that was right after the Ross that you played pretty well in the Ross, and
then we went to Maryland.
Yeah, we went to Maryland.
Yeah, I mean those were
all the ones we could sort of get to.
Yeah, we could get to.
Because I know early on Oregon was looking at you a little bit.
I probably had at least 40 questionnaires.
Yeah,
coming in the mail. They were honestly the worst to fill out. But I had about 40 questionnaires. That's what I thought was super cool. I mean, you're in ninth grade, you're getting letters from colleges, and you got other athletes who you're not normally getting letters from colleges when you're 8th grade, 9th grade.
Do you think that sort of maybe blew you up a little bit though? Like as far as like, you thought you're a little bit maybe overconfident at times?
Oh yeah, for sure. My head was so big when I was freshman, sophomore, and I mean that ties into I didn't do anything freshman, sophomore year. I never went out, never hung out with friends. I was just always at home, always going to the golf course. I was either golf course or at home, not doing anything. Which, if I could go back and change anything, that would be what I would do. I would hang out with more friends, not make it so much golf related nonstop. That's kind of what I feel like I did senior year when I did go through the slump and stuff. I felt like I referred back to maybe golf isn't everything, and
sure.
You have to have friends and people that you can be around and not talk about golf like normally.
Yeah.
When I'm on the golf course, or when I'm not on the golf course, I don't want to talk about golf. I'd always tell you that.
Sure.
But just because literally our house is full of golf. But
24/7.
Yeah. So I feel like.
Do you think maybe you've had a little bit of burnout, or you think at times? Or I mean, I know obviously after the little downturn, you probably maybe thought that, but.
No, I never. That's the thing, is I never really got burnt out. I mean, because you never pushed me. You never were like, you need to go practice. I was always like,
yeah, I'm
going to practice. You'd have to pull me off the golf course.
Right. I mean, I do. I mean, and I think that's something that people probably don't realize. And again, I would put you in that box of like, you weren't the most talented kid I've ever coached. Yeah. But you probably were at least the top 5 hardest working kid I've ever taught. And that's no joke. So I mean, what you earn or what you got, you definitely earned through hard work and I had to actually. I think I think you said you hit balls or practiced like for a year and a half straight or something like that.
I didn't miss a day.
You got to take a day off.
I did not. It was the year that I hit the shot at the Masters.
Yeah,
and we went to the Masters, and I remember telling you, I was like, "You realize I'm not going to be able to play golf at all today." And you were like, "Yeah, like it's okay. Like we're going to the Masters. Who cares?" And I got pulled out of the crowd, and I had touched a club and hit a golf ball.
Yeah. Tell that story. I don't know that anybody, if we've never even, that's a great story. You were.
Oh, yeah. So, I had to have been 11 or 12?
I think you were 11.
11?
Yeah.
11. Yeah, so we were at 16 at the Masters, Monday practice round. And this is the year that Tiger played with Ting Long Guan.
Right.
He was 14 years old.
Yeah.
And, I mean, obviously, it was like, that's so sick. Like, he's playing the Masters at 14. And, Tiger was the group behind, so 16 was a madhouse.
Right.
And it was.
We went out there to get ahead of Tiger.
Yeah, it was 20 deep.
Yeah.
And Peter Hansen comes up on the tee. The tee box is backed all the way to the back. We were right on the back front. Like literally, we could have touched the club if we put our hand up.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we were just talking like, what would you hit here?
Yeah.
And Peter overheard us talking and was like, what do you think they'd say about that if I had? And he was like, if I let you hit a shot out here, and you said, oh, I've seen it before, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And so Peter hits a shot. I didn't think anything of it.
So here's let me fill in the gaps a little bit. So when he walked up, because I was with a friend of mine. I remember I introduced you to there was a friend named Jeff, and he goes, he started talking about your game, and I go, yeah, he's getting pretty good or whatever, and Peter came up and I said, what's the yardage?
Oh, that's
he
right.
He said like it was 168 or whatever, and I go, I bet the kid can get it on from here. And I pointed at you.
Yeah, you did say that.
Yeah, that's kind of how it started. And then he goes, "What do you think? You think they'd say?" I'm like, "I've seen kids get pulled out of the crowd all the time." Then he went over to hit his shot. Kind of went over in the corner. We didn't think anything about it. Then he comes back. He goes, "What clubs the kid need?"
Yeah, and I remember looking at you, and I was like, "What?" And you're like, "Get out there, like, go!" And I was like, "Oh my god!" So I get out there. I mean, it all happened so fast. I didn't even have any. I had no chance to even remember it. What was going on, knew what was going on. So I go out there, I'm walking out there, everybody's screaming. And then I'm over here, he's like, what club do you need? And he put me up like 15 yards in front of where he hit.
Right.
And I mean, like, there's 20 deep. Me as a player, I'm wanting to hit it on the green. And I'm 11 years old here, so I probably needed driver 3-wood.
Yeah.
I was like, well, how far is it? He was like, 170. And I was like, he's like, what do you need? And I was like, trying to think about what I needed to hit there. And he's like, here, hit the 6-iron. I'm like, there's no chance I'm getting this. Zero chance I am getting this over the water.
Yeah.
So he's like, all right, well, get loose. So I start taking practice swings, and everybody's going crazy.
Oh, yeah. Because, when I tell the story, like, people don't realize it's a Monday. Tiger's on property. It's late in the day.
Yeah.
So every single person is on 16.
Yeah.
Like, from the whole property. Everybody can get in there. So it was basically like a full packed house, and when you took that practice swing, the place just erupted because they could see like this kid actually has a chance to hit the ball in the air.
Yeah. Oh god. I mean, I was like, he's like, get loose. I took 2 practice swings, no chance I was loose, and got up to it. I think I hit it a little off the toe, maybe. Hit like a little toe draw.
Yeah, you had a nice little draw right in the middle of the lake.
Middle of the lake. He's like, everybody's going crazy.
Oh man.
But it all happened so fast. I literally, like, I remember coming back. And I was just like, I just hit a shot.
Yeah.
Right, and then I'll never forget walking to the car after, and everybody's like, that's the kid who hit the shot. That's the kid who hit the shot. I was like,
yeah, because you had yellow polo pants on, so you were very easy to pick out of the crowd. And you got stopped about 50 times.
Yeah, I did.
That was crazy.
Funny, but the funny thing is, Ting Long Guan and Tiger were in the same group behind us, and Guan had on these like lime green pants. And everybody's just shouting, like, when Tiger came on the back, he was like, let the kid in the yellow hit, let the kid in the yellow hit. And Tiger looked up to everybody and was like, he is hitting. Because it was Ting Long Guan had like yellowish color pants on.
Oh, man.
So everybody thought that was hilarious. But, God, that's something I won't ever forget. But if y'all want to ever watch the video, it's on YouTube. You have to type in shot at 16 at Masters. Don't know why it's named that.
Yeah.
But you'll find it.
Well, yeah, I totally choked on the video.
Yeah.
So I got like 2 video cameras in my hand because we were filming swings and stuff, and I'm freaking out, and I'm like halfway in tears going, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening. And luckily this guy two seats over filmed it and then posted it on YouTube and then told me about it. We would have never seen it. Pretty cool stuff. Yeah, you've gotten to do some cool stuff at Augusta.
Oh yeah.
We won't go into the rest of it because it makes everybody else jealous. But anyway, sorry. So back to your career, right? So you're going through. You're sort of at on the come up, right? So I mean, I think when you look at junior golfers' careers, typically the kids that are going to play D1 golf, you kind of see that steady climb of, they keep getting better, and then coaches come around, you get a few offers, and then you pick a college, right?
Yeah.
Didn't exactly happen like that for you, did it?
Not at all.
All right, so continue on when you sort of hit your first little road bump.
Yeah, I'm trying to think about when it first happened.
It was early junior year.
Yeah, after sophomore year.
Yeah.
Like I said, I had a solid sophomore summer. I don't think I I shot a lot of 72, 73s. Finished top 10 a couple times, top 20 a couple times. Just a very average summer.
Mm-hmm.
And then started visiting schools. That's when I visited VT twice. And then everybody was just, a lot of the coaches were just waiting for that breakthrough.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, I mean, he's got the game. We're just waiting for that breakthrough finish. And so that's when I was just like, all right, like, you're not the shit. You're just not the shit. You have to buckle down and play golf and have that breakthrough. So then I grew. I think I grew 9 inches.
Yeah, you did. 8 or 9 inches going
into junior year.
Yeah,
and I think we made the mistake of playing a lot of tournaments during that.
Probably right.
That growth.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I remember I'd go through week spans where I'd be hitting a draw, and next thing you know, the next day I'm hitting a cut, and I'm just like, what is going on?
Yeah.
Like, I have no idea.
I had a hard time keeping your swing together.
Yeah, it changed so much. Yeah, so I would honestly, if we would go back, we shouldn't have played that many tournaments in that time span. We should have just let my body do its own thing. Maybe picked up another sport while I was growing.
It's an interesting take.
Still playing. I mean, or just playing basketball here and there. Like,
yeah.
But since like I said earlier, I mean, I was just so invested in golf. I didn't hang out with anybody. Just kind of did my own thing at home. Did my own thing on the golf course. Just was like very individual. But so I grew 9 inches. Swing changed a lot. Played a lot of tournaments. And that's when I kind of started playing bad. I don't remember when. Because we started that pop up to the right, and then that low hook.
Well, I know at the Creed, or it would have been I know exactly when it was. It was the spring because you played in a tournament in Campbell.
Yeah,
I wasn't there, and it was just
tight golf course.
Yeah, super tight golf course. Got to drive it well.
It was my first amateur event.
Was it in it? Was it really?
Yeah.
Okay, because I just remember getting a text from your mother, and she said he can't hit it on the planet right now. It's going miles to the right, and nothing that I'd seen in your golf swing prior to that. I didn't really know what was going on, right? And I'm like, it shouldn't be a big deal. When he gets back, we'll do some work. And because you shot something in the mid 80s.
Oh, it was high 80s.
Yeah, it was crazy.
It was high 80s. And that was supposed to just be like a little tune-up for the Creed.
For the Creed, first CGA major of the year, just kind of getting your season started. This was your junior year, right?
This is crunch time.
This is crunch time. Yeah, this is sort of like, okay, one good tournament.
Coaches could start talking to you September 1st.
Right.
One good tournament, offers start rolling in. Now you got options.
Because I think you'd played okay over the winter, like average, but not terrible, kind of mediocre. But we know, I think, actually, I do remember when that shot popped up. It was almost like Brandon Todd type of deal.
Yeah.
Almost like the swing yips, basically. Is when,
but it was because during when I was growing, that's when I started working out with Aaron.
Hold on. So I remember the time. I was just thinking of the shot when we saw that shot pop up. It was actually in the state tournament. You hit like an iron out of bounds off the tee, off just a average, just a normal shot, and all of a sudden you just pumped it out of bounds. You remember that?
Yeah. It was Pinehurst number
6. Yeah, and you actually played pretty well. You finished.
3 Pinehurst number 6.
Yeah, you I think you made a couple of doubles, or you would have probably had a good chance to win.
Yeah.
So it was like, all right, we're playing some pretty good golf, but then that weird shot just started popping up.
Yeah.
Your club would get stuck up underneath, and you couldn't square the face or whatever. But then that was the next one. Then the next one, you went and shot something just a normally high score, which was like, what just happened? And you did it again.
Yeah.
Like there's 2 in a row, and then we're like, okay. So you remember it coming back, and we worked.
I remember coming back, embarrassed as shit. I mean, it was awful. I was so embarrassed because it was like, I mean, I'm visiting a bunch of schools, good Power 5 schools, and I just shot 2 high 80s in an amateur event. Like, that's not normal. And I remember coming back, and I came to you when I got home. I was like, we're going to the golf course.
Yeah.
Like,
As soon as you walked in the door,
because I knew how tight Camden was, and I was like, there's just if I go to Camden hitting like this, I'm gonna do the exact same thing.
Yeah,
and this is gonna be miserable, and it's not gonna be good. So I remember coming home to you, and I was like, bro, we got to go fix this. So we went out to the golf course. We were there from probably. This was on a Sunday.
Yeah, we grinded for like 4 or 5 hours.
Obviously missed the cut, so it was a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Came back Saturday night. We were probably out there for 6 hours maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I just remember the divot patterns were so long, but so we thought we figured it out. And you can talk about.
Well, yeah, I mean,
because you came to the Creed.
Yeah. So it was kind of. Well, actually, what it was, yeah. So again, started the growth spurt combined with like you'd start working out with your trainer.
I started working out heavy with Aaron.
Big time like lower body stuff, right?
A lot of legs.
So so he's if anybody's seen his golf swing, he's a big jumper anyway. So he'd kind of drop the club inside and then he would jump. The club would get stuck up underneath and he would actually reverse roll it and the face would just stay wide open. He'd hit big blocks.
And the only way I could correct it would be just timing it up right.
Yeah, you'd have to flip it.
I'd have to flip it.
And you flip it and you'd hit it left.
Yeah.
So it was just like he had this sort of two-way miss going. And he's always been a little drawer because we sort of left him in a draw pattern because of the distance. Yeah. Like he kind of because he was little, had to hit it far enough to hit with the draw. So I remember that's when we first started discussing playing a fade.
Yeah.
You're like, we got to get something we can hit in the fairway. I'm like, we may need to change.
Because I think
the
whole
pattern.
Sunday we just hit cuts.
Yeah. I had you like just swinging hard left and hitting fades. And you're like, man, I kind of like this.
Yeah.
But
we went to the Creed in the first round. I was like back to what I was.
Yeah. You didn't have time. Yeah. You just didn't have time to really ingrain it.
But then the second day we were on the range and I took it high again.
Yeah.
And we're on the range, second day, getting ready to go out. I'm like, I'm just going to hit cuts. And I think I striped it before my round.
Right. That's when we had a little practice session like before, which I never do.
Yeah.
Like I don't think I've ever remember actually working with you during a golf tournament, but we had to. Like you literally shot 88. Yeah.
So is that what I shot?
Yeah, you shot like 88. I'm like, well, because every tee shot has a chute of trees.
Yeah,
you couldn't get it out of the chute.
It would be everywhere. Yeah,
you hit it out of bounds like 12 times.
Yeah.
So it was like we got to do something. So yeah, we got in there and grinding on you, and we're like hitting little baby fades, and you're like, I got it.
Yeah.
And then when you went out on the course and
first tee shot, was like a flare out to the right. I'm like, it was mental. So anyways, yeah, you kind of had like the swing yips. I don't even thinking about it. Wouldn't necessarily call it that, but I mean, obviously we had an issue. Yeah.
So then we go, so after that, I mean, you were pretty down and.
Oh yeah, because I mean, I'd played bad in the tournament before, and I just played this tournament too, and played bad. And then I was like, well, I don't know what's going on. I have no idea what's going on. So then obviously your confidence level is going down.
Yeah.
And I'd always had I was always fairly confident myself. And then once that happened, my confidence level went down. I don't know. I don't really remember what happened after that.
Well, we went back to work. And, and once, actually when you came home, you know what we did. And this is a dad thing. As I said, you're putting the clubs down. You had an AJGA at Chessie Creek.
Was that the next one?
That was the next one, yeah. At the Chessie Creek.
No, I think
3 weeks away or so.
No, I think we went to Georgia.
Oh yeah,
at Augusta
for a qualifier. Yeah,
for a qualifier. And God, that feels like a long time ago.
I know, right?
That really feels like a long time ago.
I know I'd probably bring back stuff.
And I remember the hotel was sweet.
Yeah, we went downtown to Augusta.
It was the same time as the Peach Jam.
Yeah,
the big high school tournament. And the hotel was sick. And I was like, if I qualify for this, I mean, we're just gonna be chilling in the hotel a lot. It's gonna be so much fun. And I was good. I think I was playing decent.
Yeah, you were fine.
Going into like.
Yeah, you didn't even need to shoot anything low.
I didn't even shoot anything low. You needed
to shoot 76 or something. You were fine, and then
I think I blew one OB on 9.
Yeah, and then you popped one out of bounds and made a quad or something, and then we had to go home again. Mm-hmm. So then that's when
I remember putting the clubs down for a little bit.
Yeah, well, and when you came back, I remember I just like you needed to get away from it, so we went fishing.
Yeah.
I said, we're going fishing for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So literally we went fishing every night and just kind of got away from golf.
Yeah.
Didn't even talk about it.
That's right. That's so long ago.
Yeah.
I remember that now.
Yeah. So then, then I was like, all right, well, we got time. We got another month or something for your next tournament. It was at, like I said, it was the AJGA, I believe. Yeah. And then that's when we, as a team, sort of decided, okay, we're going to the fade.
Yeah.
Like we're going to, then we went, after that, we went back to work and started hitting cuts. And
it's funny because my swing speed, because I was hitting a draw, my eye path was probably 4 or 5 to the right when I was going through that. Maybe
it was a lot more than that. It was about 12.
12 was it really? Okay. And the whole reason I was working out with Aaron and stuff was to hit it farther and swing speed to go up and stuff.
We were chasing distance, which
that
leads me to like one of the mistakes I think we made.
Yeah.
At the wrong time.
Yeah, definitely at the wrong time. And we weren't really seeing. I mean, I went up maybe 3 or 4 miles an hour. It wasn't that big, and then we went to the cut, and we saw a huge jump.
Yeah, because now you're actually using your body.
Now using my body, using the ground a little better.
Yeah.
So we went to the cut, and I think I was hitting the cut for a while. I still am kind of hitting the cut.
Yeah, well, like we can go back into that as you're sort of back to the little draw now, but you can do it now.
Yeah.
Because before, like I said, you weren't really strong enough. Your body was changing.
Yeah.
You had a lot of, like I said, your lower body got so much.
We just skipped a bunch. Though.
I know. So, and that's what's cool. We're just having a conversation. But,
I remember, but after that is after.
So I thought the last round to Chessie Creek was kind of your breakthrough.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
So
now we're going into my junior year summer, getting ready to go into senior year.
Exactly.
What did we plan? All of that. So we played. I think we played a few tournaments.
Yeah. So think about the Chessie Creek. I remember we were doing the practice round. You're still kind of hitting it a little bit dodgy.
I wasn't hitting it. I remember hitting it pretty good there.
No, the first round the practice round. You remember hitting it. That course is really hard.
Yeah.
You're hitting a little dodgy, and you hit a couple foul balls, and you're like, okay. And then we talked about some face path stuff, and you're like, oh wow, that makes sense. So we got the thing squared up. Yeah. You're like, oh, I need to actually get the face left to hit a cut, and right, that was a big aha moment. Next thing I know, you're like hitting just lasers. Okay. Yeah. So then I remember the last round.
I remember going the first 2 events. I hit it pretty good, but I got nothing out of it.
Right.
Which is for the viewers or whatever, the listeners.
Yeah.
You make a swing change, and everyone thinks you need to. It needs to click right away.
Yeah.
But it's so far from that.
Right. It took some time, right? I mean, it probably took us a few months.
Because there's so much more to golf than just hitting it good or whatever. You still have to score. Which is, I feel like going through that. I mean, we skipped the fact that I was awful at chipping.
Yeah,
I mean, I arguably had the chipping yips.
Yeah, we'll get to that too.
When I was hitting my sophomore year, when I was hitting it really well. I mean, I remember I'd hit like 16 greens around and make. I wouldn't even have a chance to get up now. I think I'd 2-chip it every time.
Yeah.
And shoot 74, 73 every single time. And then got with James Ridyard, and he changed my whole chipping. And then when I started hitting it bad, because I remember I could never really trust it on the golf course. Could never really trust it, especially in tournaments, because I was so used to just not chipping well. And so started missing a lot of greens, and then started getting really comfortable with it, because obviously, I mean, why not try it? You're missing every green.
Exactly.
So started getting comfortable with it, and then now you're hitting it better, and then your chipping's better and stuff. But,
right.
I don't know. We just kind of.
So I think it's okay. No, it's fine. It's like I'm just trying to keep on the timeline. So after Chessie, again, you started clicking. Then you went into the NC Junior and finished and almost made the top 8. That's when you kind of came out of the slump.
Yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah, and it's funny because Coach Sharp remember he watched me.
Exactly. So I remember I had several coaches come up to me and say, "Hey, what's up?" And I'm like, "Look, he's just going through a thing, and we're going to come out of this thing, and he's going to be better than ever." So I kept telling him, like, somebody's going to get a really good player.
Yeah.
A smart coach is going to get a really, really good player. That's what I just kept telling him.
I remember shooting 2 under.
Yeah, he shot 70. He shot 70 in the qualifiers.
Or in the stroke play.
Yeah.
I got the 11th seed, 9th
10th.
seed.
You were 10th.
10th seed.
Yeah.
One of those. Won my first 2 matches, and I played pretty good in my last match.
You played really good, yeah.
I wouldn't say I played really good, but I played pretty good, and had to take an unplayable on the 19th hole.
Yeah, you had
And-
you had a kid that was playing at State,
Yeah,
NC State. Now, yeah, took him the 19 holes, and then hit it behind a tree. And
hit behind a tree, took an unplayable, just kind of like, you're like, oh, story of my junior golf career.
yeah, I was gonna say that was it.
I don't know what was after that.
Then it was a few more AJGAs, just kind of mediocre again. So
Yeah.
you kind of went through another little mini slump sort of after that.
Yeah,
But again, it's like for the listeners, is that sort of through that little stretch early on in that year is when kind of all the coaches sort of stopped calling, stopped texting. You know what I mean? Like it happened that quick.
Yeah.
Because again, you were sort of right on the
I mean,
line.
it was crunch time. I don't blame them either.
Mm-mm.
I mean, I wouldn't want it. Like after that, like no, I wouldn't call back, or text back or anything. And I mean, but that's how fast it can happen.
Right. I think that's an important thing. Is it?
I think that the NC Junior was when I first really overcame adversity. And,
Yeah.
But so yeah, I had a pretty just not very. I mean, it wasn't awful, but it wasn't a bad summer.
Yeah.
And then I went in. I remember it all really kind of clicked. High school, because then I started getting offers from smaller schools,
Right.
highly academic, like good academic schools. But I mean, with not being that good in the classroom, and I had no chance.
Well,
of
it was sort of like, I guess, at the end of the summer. That's when we go to the Ford's Colony.
Yeah.
Right. The Ford's Colony AJGA, and you played pretty solid.
Yeah.
And I remember, William Mary was there and definitely was interested. And
I remember we actually visited William and Mary right after.
yeah,
right
exactly.
After that,
So
first or second round.
he wanted you there, and we thought that was going to happen. But it's kind of like trying to get into Princeton.
Yeah. Gosh. I mean,
Yeah, we'll talk about academics after that. As far as
it'd be
how important
awesome
that
to
is.
go there, but it wasn't very realistic. Right?
Yeah, exactly. So that was kind of the first disappointment.
Yeah.
As you were sort of making your comeback, and then obviously North Georgia.
Yeah, that one hit me hard.
That was a tough one. So talk a little bit about that as you basically started your game started to come back.
Yeah, and I knew it wasn't far. Like I was playing pretty solid, but I knew it wasn't far off from taking it like stupid deep.
Mm-hmm.
So then we visited North Georgia with Coach Worley. Love Coach Worley. I got an offer there, but I had to get into the school.
Right.
With it being out of state, it was kind of hard for us to get in with the ACT score I had and stuff. So couldn't get in, and that one hit me hard when I got the phone call from him saying like, "Hey, like, go somewhere small and then transfer in. Like, I'd love to have you." And stuff.
Right.
And that one hit me hard. I was just like, game's starting to come around, and now I'm really just not getting rewarded.
Mm-hmm.
But I knew if I just kept trusting the process, knew God had a plan, kept my head down, kept practicing, and then senior year, I just completely branched out.
Yeah.
Started hanging out with all my buddies that I was super close with when I was young. I mean, I was the student section leader for both sports, football and basketball, and just had the best senior year. Like, just so much fun. And that's when I feel like my golf game started.
Right. So it kind of goes back to your balance thing,
yeah.
right? So maybe that was part of it.
Maybe
that
you need to go out.
You
Maybe
put too
need
much
to-
pressure on yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good point.
And I honestly, just the way I had my senior year was so much fun. And then started playing good golf. Had a pretty solid high school career at Porter Ridge, and I guess that leads into where we are now.
Yeah. Well, and then So then the importance of.
But we were at the end, towards the end of my senior year golf wise. It's probably March, maybe.
Yeah.
March, Aprilish. Trying to think who. Marshall. So I had nobody. And I was like, Mom went to Marshall. Why don't I just? And I had emailed Coach Grobe several times.
Well, we sent out a bunch of emails.
Yeah.
Remember that was another, I think, an important point was the contacts like coaches, a lot of times they don't have time to see all the kids.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you've got to reach out to them, right? So, and I even told you, even when you were kind of going through that, so you're like, Dad, I'm playing pretty good. I'm not getting any looks. I'm like, well, you've got to start reaching out to people you probably didn't think about.
I remember going through online, like, the rankings.
Yeah, that's what I said. Go to the top 200. I mean, it's
Yeah.
amazing how many Division I schools out there that you don't even realize have really good golf programs.
Yeah. And then we went out to Vegas for
Yeah,
the
that's
senior
right.
showcase.
Yeah.
That'd be great. No,
No, it was. Yeah, we didn't see. Yeah, a lot of D3. I mean, you got so many
a lot
emails.
of
Some
NAIs.
NAIs kind of came. Yeah, and they wanted you to play, and so you got a bunch of interest there, but it still wasn't where we wanted to be.
We never really pursued any NAIA schools.
No, it just wasn't.
I mean, maybe Dalton State. That's it.
Yeah.
So then, back to the Marshall thing.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, Mom went there. And I remember emailing Coach Grobe like 2 or 3 times when I was 8th grade, freshman year. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to email him again. Why not? And just told him my whole story and everything. And I got an email back in like 30 minutes. And I was like, what the heck?
Yeah.
Turns out I had sent it to the wrong email.
Yeah, you sent it to Joe Fagan.
Yeah.
You sent it to
He
the
was
old coach.
Old coach.
Yeah.
Like 5 years ago.
Yeah.
So I sent him an email. We used to get to talking, blah, blah, blah. Actually happened pretty quick.
Really quick.
And I mean, I don't know if we want to go into all that.
You can. I mean, it's up to you.
Ended up visiting Marshall and really liked it. And then
He offered you.
Then he offered me, and then he came and watched me in our conference tournament.
Right.
I shot 71, played pretty solid. And I remember he told me that he hit Coach Brown had called him while he was in Charlotte, and he asked him to play in his tournament. And he was like, no, we can't play in your tournament or whatever. We have a full schedule. But I just watched this kid. He's a pretty good player. I feel like I don't know if you have any room on your team or whatever, but if you do, you should put him on your radar. And so he had told you about that.
Right.
And then you told me, and I was like, one day at school, I mean, I was just like, I'm going to email Coach Brown. So I emailed Coach Brown, and then that all just happened super quick. I mean, we were back and forth. Visited there, and then 2 days later, Coach called me, and then I committed on the spot.
Yeah, that it was really almost like a dream, right? I mean,
Yeah.
it's because it just happened so fast.
And I mean, everybody said, I remember everybody would tell me, like, it all works out in the long run. And I was always like, okay, like, yeah, it does. Like, all right. And then when everybody's, like, signing at school, everybody's having, they're having their signings and stuff, and I'm just getting no recognition at all. And I'm like, does it actually all really work out in the long run?
Yeah, I was gonna say, how did you stay positive, like, through all of that? Like, really going back to, like, end of junior year. I mean, was there ever a moment where you thought, maybe I just don't want to do this anymore, or I'm going to quit? Or,
No,
I mean, tell me your
never-
mindset, because I'm blown away by your perseverance and, like, your positive, like, a lot of times, even when I was, like, not super positive, I got to admit, where I'm like, this is just
I mean, we were
not going to happen.
we were both in such a bad mood for at least a year.
Yeah.
During that whole thing.
Right.
You know, I mean, I always refer back to the whole, like, golf isn't everything. That's when I started hanging out with friends and stuff, and kind of doing other things besides just playing golf 24/7.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, started fishing a bunch, just old hobbies that I used to do all the time that I kind of just like let go of, and I feel like that kind of helped me stay positive. And I mean, I have a great support system. I mean, all my friends were always so supportive. You guys are so supportive.
Yeah, never mind your mom and dad.
Yeah, mom and dad. But
You got the all-time greatest mom in the world.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I knew God had a plan and that it would all work out in the long run. And I mean, obviously there's times where you're going to say, does it always? But then again, you just have to refer back to, like, just trust. That's what my motto is, trust. So just trust in the process, and it all does work.
Yeah, because I mean, I think, as sort of going through it with you, you always kind of look back and say, things happen for a reason, but when you're in it, when you're in the middle of the storm,
when you're in it,
it doesn't seem that way.
Yeah.
But
and then you look back and you're like, wow, it does.
I know, right? I mean, it's crazy, and that's why, because I had to take a lot of. I'm the one answering all the questions, from members, people that are concerned.
Yeah.
Hey, where's Nick going to school?
God.
Where's Nick going to school?
And that's the thing. I got so many people like at school or just adults.
Right.
And
I know it's tough on you.
Just asking you where you're going to school.
Because they were expecting you to play college golf when they saw you as an 8th grader.
Yeah. They're always like, oh, you'll go Power 5 or something or whatever. And it doesn't always work out like that.
But it's just, and me looking back at it, there were definite times where I was like, looking at, because I'm always got the coaching hat on, and I'm looking at, I'm like, is he really good enough? When you're going through the stuff, I'm like, I don't know. And then you do something like you come out of it, and then I'm like, there it is. Yeah. I see it. And that's when I was like really excited to tell coaches. I'm like, look, this kid is going to play his best golf. I always said it, and you know what I'm going to tell you. He's going to play his best golf his sophomore year in college. Yeah. You've got to have that vision as a coach to see it when somebody else maybe doesn't. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so far I'm looking pretty smart.
I feel like that's kind of how I stayed positive was through you guys and everybody else. But yeah, no, that was probably that's the hardest thing on senior year of high school. Yeah, because you weren't committed yet. You were kind of like, I never got to, I don't know, it's kind of weird, but I never got to like rep the school I was going to. Sure. Like everybody would wear, like I'm committed to blah blah blah. Yeah. But I never really got that, or I'm signing tomorrow at whatever time. Because we literally were going like at least we had the Marshall offer where you kind of knew you were going to play. That was a big moment. That was a big moment. I mean, shout out to Coach Grobe. I mean, that guy is a rock star, right? Awesome. I mean, so because we knew you were going to play. Yeah. And then I remember we had your senior party, graduation party, and then we had a cake that said Tennessee Tech or, so we ended up literally visiting after that. And then we were like, you didn't know. You thought you were going to Marshall for sure. But what was crazy to me was like back to the staying positive stuff, I always referred back to when I was younger and I was playing good golf and what it was like confidence wise. Because I mean, going through a slump, your confidence level just drops tremendously. Yeah. And so that's why I was just like, always thinking back. Okay, like, and that was my question: is like, where do you find the confidence when you're going through bad times? Previous tournaments and success and stuff like that. That's kind of how I stuck in there. But I never was like, do I want to keep playing golf or not? Because I mean, golf is all I had. Yeah. I mean, I didn't like I said, I didn't like school. I mean, hated school. Still hate school. But yeah, so I was always playing golf. I'd be at school. Like I remember being in high school, just thinking about what I'm going to do when I get home. Is always go play golf. So it's like, why would I stop playing golf? Yeah, I remember. Yeah, because I know your freshman year was not your best in the classroom, which kind of, because you said, of high school, yeah. Yeah, you're like, I'm going to Texas, and it doesn't matter my grades. Like, that's probably another good learning moment for the kids out there. Like, how valuable is academics to the recruiting process? Yeah. Talk a little bit about that. Academics is huge. I hate to say it, and there's a lot of kids out there. I'm sure they're like, damn. But no, yeah, academics is huge. It helps you out a lot. It makes you more recruitable, right? Yeah, they don't want to have kids. They don't want to have kids that are going to struggle. And that's why. I mean, if I was really smart in the classroom, I'd be at William Mary right now. Probably, I'd say. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it gives you a lot more opportunities to go to other schools where golf may not be their top priority. Sure. Like Ivy League or whatever. But yeah, I think obviously you need to start off strong. Freshman year, I didn't start off strong. I just kind of did my own thing. Didn't really care. And then you got sophomore year. And then junior year is obviously the hardest year in high school. I mean, you got ACT, SAT. Those tests are huge. I learned that. But, yeah, school is very important. Yeah, and it's not that you're not smart. I'm not smart. You just didn't start. I would never apply myself. I never studied. Application. Yeah. Yeah, so that's... Which ties into, I mean, now in college,
Right.
have a better GPA after my freshman year or after my first semester than I ever did in high school.
Yeah, I'm super proud of that. I mean, that's like I was more worried about that than your golf. So take us, you commit.
Yeah.
Everything's
I
awesome.
commit, and then we go to. I had one term. I think how many tournaments did I play before?
Well, you played really good. Like St. Carolinian played well. Was that before? That was actually right before you committed.
Yeah.
And then I really think the breakthrough happened again. And this kind of goes back to the swing stuff. Is after that you played pretty well, and then you almost started overcutting it.
Yeah.
Right, we started almost losing too much distance, and then I brought you back to almost feeling like draw stuff and hitting it a little bit straighter. When we started working on our little drill that we do,
the tipping out,
not tipping out too soon, getting the sweet spot behind the hand path drill, delivery stuff, and then you went to the NC match play.
Yeah, I hit it really well there. I just got nothing out of it.
Right, and I thought that was sort of the breakthrough that kind of really gave you the confidence because you're getting ready to go to college just another month.
Yeah.
So talk a little bit about that.
I remember just thinking about like, okay, I got it. Like qualifying's gonna be big. It's not far away. So then went to the NC match play and hit it really well. I remember there were so many times where I missed the fairway by like 3 yards and I would catch a jumper and made bogey or whatever. So I mean, the first day I got nothing out of it.
Right.
And but I knew the second day I was like, I mean, I'm hitting it well. Like I'm fine. Tomorrow will be better. So I remember I actually got a speeding ticket, a fat speeding ticket on the way to the second round. Very fat speeding ticket, and I thought it would be, which I mean it was probably good because it probably took my mind off of things. I was thinking about that all around. And I had it 4. I thought I needed 5 under maybe to make match play.
Yeah.
I'd shot like 5 over the first day. Thought even or 1 over would probably
you shot
be the
76 first day.
Yeah, something like that. I remember being 4 under through 10, and I was playing well. I mean, ball striking started coming around. Started making putts, started getting it going. And I was thinking if I get to 5, then I should be in good shape. And then I think didn't I bogey like par? I bogeyed 15 maybe.
Yeah, like a short par 4.
Yeah, short par 4.
Yeah,
made bogey on it. That was my best. That's probably my best opportunity. And then I had a short par 5 after that. So I probably could have 5 or 6 probably was definitely in the picture.
Yeah, you were going.
And then
you shot 68, 69, something like that. Yeah, and it just didn't finish poorly. Yeah. So I felt like that gave you some confidence, kind of going into school.
For sure. Yeah.
And then sort of fast forward now you're.
Yeah, and then
you go to college, right?
Go to college. The weird thing about going to college in a different state is you never like I'd only played golf in Tennessee once, so I'd never played any of these golf courses, and we were having qualifying on them. So I was like, either I go down there a week early and play these golf courses to get ready for qualifying, or I just wing it and hope for the best. So I remember when I moved in, we played our home course, and then I think we had 3 days. I didn't play any other courses besides our home course. And we played 3 other golf courses in qualifying. We had 7 rounds of qualifying because we had our first event. It wasn't our first week, but it was our second week, maybe second or third week,
something like that, yeah.
And we had a tournament right after it, the week after it, and so the 7 rounds of qualifying was for both rounds, or for both tournaments,
right?
And I got off to a hot start.
So what'd you shoot in qualifying?
Shot 65 the first round. Shout out, Will. I had you by 1. And then shot 66 second round. I don't remember I don't know what I shot. Maybe like
71 or 2 or something.
Something like that. And then I remember we went to another golf course and I played it blind and shot 74. And then went back to the club where our team plays. And I went 36-29.
Yeah, I was going to say that. You had some kind of milestone breakthroughs right there. Yeah, just at the right time.
Shot 29 one of our qualifying rounds, which I ended up shooting 65 that day. And
so I got you.
Yeah,
in
and
good shape.
In good shape because the last two courses we played I'd never seen, and they were
Yeah.
arguably the worst courses you could play blind. I was fortunate to play with Will and stuff, and he kind of helped me out on lines and stuff. But yeah, and the shot, I think I just held on. I think I shot 80, 77 or something the last 2 rounds. It got like the 4th spot or 5th spot or something, and then went to our first tournament, and I was so much different in junior golf.
I was going to say, talk a little bit about that, because that's something that I wanted to get into. And I got to come watch you play 3 out of the 5 tournaments, which was kind of eye-opening for me as well, because I don't get a chance to go watch my college players play.
Yeah.
So about the difference. You guys
didn't get to come to the first one.
We did not. We didn't go to the first one.
So we play EKU's event, Eastern Kentucky, decent field, and golf course was super hilly. And I'm not used to playing 30. I mean, the only time I ever played 36 in one round was either match play tournament or the U.S. Junior a couple years ago.
Yeah, because the format typically in college is 36 in one day,
36
then 18.
One day and then 18. So yeah, it's not as easy as most junior golfers know, or anybody who sees it. But and the courses are set up a bunch hard. They're so much harder than junior golf. Greens are rolling fast, pins are tucked.
Mm-hmm.
But the courses are usually in really good shape. So I shot 77, 80
first day.
Day, and I was like, "What the heck? This is so much different." And I was so tired second round because I was always just standing on my feet. So third day, I actually got it going. I wasn't really playing that well early on. I remember being like 1 over. I was 1 over going into. I started on 8. No. What did I start on? No, I started on 11. And I was 1 over on hole 4. And then I think I hit it close on a par 3. And it started like a couple late birdies. Ended up shooting 68 the last day.
Right.
And I was like, okay, like now my game's back. I'm feeling it. And then so I got into the next tournament in St. Louis. And that's a tough golf course.
Yeah, that was a really tough golf course.
Super windy.
Yeah.
Missed the fairway by a yard, you're screwed. And I played pretty solid at St. Louis. I don't really remember what I shot.
Yeah, you shot 70, 76, 71, 70.
Yeah.
Yeah, you finished 15th or something like that. Yeah, it was like that was.
No, I think I finished like 20th.
Yeah.
Finished like 20th.
Yeah, so it was. Yeah, I like you progressively got better.
Yeah.
But talk about what you learned there a little bit as far as like your management.
What I learned first day was, because I learned from the first day at the last event, I kind of was just like, this is going to sound weird, but I would be on my knee. I got on one knee between shots to kind of conserve energy, stay off my legs, kind of just to get away from it a little bit.
Yeah.
Instead of being uptight and kind of like just walking around and like just wasting energy. So I felt like I had a lot more gas left in the tank coming down the stretch. And then once I finished well, I was like, okay, getting the hang of it. And then, so I ended up getting into the next tournament where it was MTSU's event at the Grove.
Yeah, great golf course.
So pure.
Really good.
Greens were rolling at like a 15, or no, they were rolling like a 13 or something.
Yeah.
Didn't play very good there, but it was another great learning experience. Anytime as a freshman you get to play events, it's huge. We had a couple issues on the team or whatever, a couple injuries and stuff. So we didn't have our best lineup all year, but or after the second event.
Right.
So we struggled a little bit there, and then we went to Jackson, Tennessee at Austin Peay's tournament. And the first 2 rounds, I didn't play that bad, but I just didn't get anything out of it. I hit it. I probably hit it the best I've ever hit it in a tournament there. I think I went 76, 76, 72, and I've never putted that bad in my life.
Yeah, and you'd been putting
And I remember
really well.
calling you after, and I was like, dude, I hit it so well today. I probably should have shot 63 and shot 72. I don't know what's up with my putting. I think I lipped out at least 50 times. Like, it was brutal. But I remember asking you, I was like, you were like, are you hitting good putts? And I was like, I think so. Like, I've putted well all year. Like, I really don't know. And then, so I worked that out a little bit and went to our last tournament at Pine Tree in Georgia, which is Kennesaw's tournament. and just really just ran out of gas, to be honest.
I was going to say, I think you're talking about your energy management.
Yeah.
Like during the week.
During the week, just staying out late, kind of not doing what you need to do in season kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, that took a huge toll on my body and stuff. And I remember telling some of my teammates after our fourth turn, I was like, my body's done. Like, I'm tired. And then the last tournament, it hit me in the ass.
Yeah, you didn't play too well.
Pretty tough golf course, and just ran out of gas and didn't have it. And then it didn't chip well and stuff.
Sure.
But,
so talk a little bit about just college golf in general. You mentioned a few things, how it's different.
Yeah, it is.
What about college life? Like, what's that like? Give us a snapshot of sort of what a week in the life of a Division I athlete looks like.
So in season, it's a little different than off season. Off season sucks because it's good. It's good for your body and everything, but it's really boring. In season, we worked out 2 or 3 times a week, 6 a.m.s. We don't throw as much weight. It's not as much heavy weight and stuff. It's more.
But you are in the gym, right?
You're in the gym.
I think
yeah,
that's important.
For sure. It's more. We do yoga and stuff. We do cardio. Cardio's. I think that was big for those 36 whole days.
Mm-hmm.
We do suicides
Sure.
and stuff, and that was really big. And we do a lot of breathing exercises, which I don't think I've told you about.
No.
But we do a lot of breathing exercises where like we'll do 8 count going up and then 4 count going out. And it's really good for when you're under pressure and stuff.
Sure. Yeah.
And that helps.
Getting your heart rate down.
Yeah. Getting your heart rate down. Run it like suicides real quick and then doing that. So that's big.
Nice. I know you guys got a really good trainer.
Yeah. Shout out Hobbs. Love that guy.
Yeah.
But so yeah, we got 6 a.m.s in the morning. Then for me, my class schedule was pretty brutal on Monday and Wednesday. I'd have class from 9. So you have 6 a.m.s, go back, shower, blah, 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 get breakfast, and then I have class from 9 till 1 or 1:15 or something. And then I'd have practice from usually about 2 o'clock, 2-hour, 3-hour practice. But then I kind of screwed up. I had a 6 a.m. or I had a 6 p.m. English class. Awful. Good teacher, but awful. So and then I had study hall right after. We had to have 6 hours study hall.
Yeah, right.
So Monday, Wednesdays were brutal for me.
Doesn't leave a whole lot of time for anything else, right?
No. So Monday, Wednesdays were brutal. And then I'd obviously go over to the apartment with the guys and hang out for a little bit. And then you're going back. Then you're going to bed at like 11:30, 12. So then you're doing it again.
Mm-hmm.
So big thing that I learned during this is naps are huge. I remember a couple guys told me beforehand, like
Nasr Muhammad.
Nas, yeah.
Shout out to Nas for that advice.
Nas told me naps are massive in college, which they are. So I had that was my Monday. Tuesday, I kind of got to sleep in. I had an 8 a.m. on Tuesday. Tuesdays and Thursdays, I had 8 a.m.s. So I didn't really get to sleep much then, but I didn't have to wake up for 6 a.m. And then the weekends, you got qualifying normally unless you're in season and stuff. You got you'll usually leave for a tournament on Saturday.
Yeah, because they're Sunday, Monday, right?
Yeah, they're Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. So we left for a few tournaments. I think we left for St. Louis on a Saturday. Got down there, practice before our practice round, and then the closer tournaments you leave day of practice round. But when you're traveling, you guys still have to do schoolwork. So it's when you finish your round, you get dinner, and then you go back to the hotel, and you got to catch up on schoolwork. So that's why tournaments, college golf is so much different than junior golf.
Right.
I mean, obviously sometimes in high school you're gonna have stuff like that, but you're not playing 36, then schoolwork, and then 18, and then schoolwork, and then so there's just so much more. And school is obviously harder in college than it is in high school.
Mm-hmm.
But so that's the kind of my day in the life, I guess.
So has anything surprised you about college golf that maybe you didn't expect, or has it been what you thought?
I kind of figured it would be the way it is.
I know you've talked to a lot of
some people,
kids that I've worked with, and
I mean, you get your occasional. I don't know if this is with lower D1 or not. Power 5 might be a little different. but you'll get some kids who don't care. I mean, they peak, they do junior golf, and then they get a scholarship, go to college, and then they're like, all right, I'm not gonna try and play after. Like I've kind of done, golf is kind of like it for me here. So, then you get like that. That's really the only thing. I mean, in junior golf, you're working towards something. College golf, if you've already worked towards that and you don't want to do anything after with it, then you kind of just peak there and just ride with it. So I think that's. Well, I was kind of surprised by that, just because I didn't know anything else when it came to that.
So you're saying when you got to college, I don't understand what you're saying.
Some kids will kind of peak there, where they won't grind like they do in high school to get to college.
Gotcha. They don't feel like they're trying to get better.
Yeah.
Off-season
like
practice.
I said, that could be lower D1 than
Power 5.
I'm not
You're
sure
a mid-major.
Yeah.
You call yourself mid-major.
Mid-major.
Sounds better than low D1.
I don't know.
Whatever. You guys are in the OVC.
Yeah.
Which is pretty competitive. I mean, it's like
OVC, that's another thing. I didn't realize how competitive OVC is.
I mean, that's a thing. Like Jacksonville State and you got UT Martin, got some really solid programs that we didn't know because you don't know that part of the country or mid-major.
OVC's solid.
Very solid.
Belmont's good. UT Martin's good. Jacksonville State's good. Jacksonville State, I think, wins conference about every year.
They've won the last 3 years.
Yeah, they're filthy.
Yeah. So
and that is not in Jacksonville, Florida.
Right.
Didn't know that.
Yeah.
It's in Alabama.
Right.
But
you guys got a good nucleus. I think you guys got a real good chance.
We've got some good talent. I think if we get our guys healthy and everybody kind of on the same page, we can do something.
You should be able. Yeah, you should have a good chance of winning conference. I think.
Yeah.
From what I've seen.
And shout out Coach Brown. I mean, great guy. Love that guy.
Yeah.
He wants everything for us. He's going to do anything for us to get better or to be successful in the classroom.
And Coach Smith.
Coach Smith's awesome. DJ Smith. I know you're going to listen to this. Yeah, they're great. I've got a great relationship with the coaches and love it. So
any tactics or tricks for college that you could share? Like, I mean, I think and Coach Brown gave you a lot as far as like getting in a good relationship with your professors.
One thing I loved that our coaches did was set like a lot. We set like a team goal, personal goal, school goal, and then just like your regular life goal.
Yeah, I like that.
Before we got to school, and then kind of had a meeting and stuff with the coaches.
What I really like, what you've told me is, one, that you guys do community service, which I think is great, and two, you do your journaling. Yeah,
journaling. Right, we journaled after every round. Yeah,
and Coach is really big on keeping stats.
That's Coach Smith. That one's for Coach Smith.
Yeah, it's great.
Big journal girl.
No, I think it's important. So, what have you learned, if anything, from your journaling, or maybe going through your stats, which I know we're going to do here in your off season. Now that you're off on your break, we're going to go through your stats and set some goals for you going into spring.
Figure out what we can do going forward. But some tricks. Using tutors is big. I mean, it's like, who cares you're using tutors? Like,
they're available.
If it's available, then use it.
Yeah,
that's what I've done well this semester. I've used tutors to help me. Use tutors. Taking a lot of naps a bit when you get the chance to. Another thing Nas told me that I didn't do great this semester. You don't have to do everything. You do not have to go out for everything. So, I mean, you're not. It's a marathon, not a sprint, is what he was saying, and I think that's 100% accurate.
Yeah, for sure.
But you do not have to go out for everything, especially in season or off season stuff. Get your body right, eat right. Eating right's good. Honestly, you can eat whatever you want as long as you're working out. I mean, I gained 14 pounds this semester from eating right, and
because it's not fat. You still look super skinny and lean. It definitely looks stronger, and now you've enjoyed working out. And that's the thing I told you. What I tell you before you left, I'm like, you need to fall in love with the gym.
Yeah.
Because you needed to put on some muscle.
Yeah, I need to get on Sean's level. Sean's in the gym constantly. But
So what's next? What are your goals look like for your upcoming spring season, and then maybe, what do you want to accomplish while you're at school? Maybe your 4 years.
It's a little broad for 4 years, but right now I'm really focused on my upcoming spring season. Obviously, I want to play in as many events as I can. Have some top finishes. That'd be great. I think before I got to school, I wanted my scoring average to be 73. And last tournament of the fall kind of screwed me a little bit.
Right.
But 75 right now. So I probably need about 71 average, 72 average, maybe lower, to get the 73 mark or somewhere around that, which would be good. But I think playing in as many events as I can, getting the experience as a freshman, and then just wanting to help out your team as much as possible. I mean, it'd be awesome as a team to win conference and have like a little reveal thing on Golf Channel, where they reveal where everybody's going for regionals. I think going to regionals would be awesome. And bringing a conference championship back to Cookville would be sweet.
Yeah, no doubt.
But, and then I guess just get closer with the guys as well. And that's another thing I like to say. You don't always just have to hang out with your team. I mean, it's good, obviously. You're going to have a great relationship with your team. But branch out, meet new people, hang out with people. They don't have to be athletes. I mean, they can be other sports.
Sure.
I mean, I've got a pretty close friend group. They all play football. They're in my dorm and stuff that we hang out with. Pretty close to a couple basketball players. And then people who don't play a sport, which is big. Just because, like I said, back in high school, you want to kind of branch out, and it doesn't all have to really revolve around golf.
I think that's great advice. I mean, that's something that I did when I was in college. I mean, I was friends with the basketball team. Yeah, it's just, dude, this is the best time of your life.
Yeah.
And you're figuring that out already. But in a blink, you're going to be, 4 years looking for a job.
Yeah.
So it's like, get the most out of it, but step back and look around occasionally.
Yeah.
Be where your feet are, as my friend Tim Cook says. Get off your phone every now and again and look around.
That's another thing.
Just enjoy it, and take it all in.
Yeah.
I think it's important.
Asking questions is big, too, in anything. I feel like referring back to, like, your professors, having a good relationship with your professors, or good relationship with coaches, trainers, asking questions, learning from stuff, not being hard-headed. And I was pretty hard-headed younger, and now, I mean, you kind of learn from mistakes and stuff, and I feel like you got to bring yourself back down to reality.
For sure. Anything or any topic that I haven't asked you about that you want to talk about? Anything you can think of?
I don't know. To be honest, I haven't really.
I know we didn't talk about our relationship. We don't have.
Yeah.
We don't have
we
to
can.
get into. We can.
I mean, I don't care.
We can get into that. I mean, I know that's the question that a lot of the listeners have. A lot of them are coaches, right?
Yeah.
And teachers that kind of wonder how we navigated.
Yeah, I mean, early on, I'll speak on this.
Yeah, sure. That'd be.
Early on, we've always been best friends or whatever. But early on, it was hard because, I mean, I did not take it well when you were coaching other juniors that I was playing against and stuff.
Sure, understandable.
But we talked about that and stuff.
Yeah.
But like you being a coach, it's hard because you always have you want to have your coach's hat on at all times, but also being a dad, you want to be doing dad things. If that makes any sense?
Sure. No, I think that's fair.
But so early on we struggled a little bit with that, but then as we've gotten older, and then now that I'm at college, I mean, I don't know, you're always like the first to view everything that that I post or whatever. I don't know, you can say it. You miss me.
I do miss you. I do miss you. And all your friends like me because I'm the cool dad, right?
Yeah. He's a plug, low-key.
So, is that all you want to say about that?
Yeah.
It's pretty tame.
I mean,
that's cool. All right, so you can't get off the pod without answering the question. And you say you don't listen to my podcast, but then you know the question. So I think you're low key sneaking some episodes in there, but if you had to get a message to millions or billions of people,
is it a word or a message?
It can be a mantra, it can be a quote, it can be a saying. If you've got your own personal billboard to get that message to the world, what would it be and why? And you gotta have an explanation of why.
Yeah. Well, thing that I always talked about was just trusting in the process. I mean, through everything, anything and everything. Trusting through the process. I mean, God's always has a plan for you. It's already written. You may not know what it is, and you probably won't ever know what it is until it happens. So, yeah, I think trust in the process is great. Shout out Joel Embiid. But, yeah, I think that's what I use. I mean, I have it tattooed on my body. I have trust in Japanese on my arm. But, yeah, trust in the process is good, if that makes sense.
Well, dude, I can't be more proud of sort of where you are now and watching your journey as we've sort of gone through it together. It's been a lot of trials and tribulations, but the way that you've come out of this and flourished into not just a great player, but a better young man.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how much that makes me happy and proud of, what you've accomplished so far, and I'm really excited to see what comes next. And I just wanted to tell you, in our journey, right? So, and thank you for allowing me to be a part of it.
Yeah, for sure.
That's been the coolest thing for me, and I kind of miss those junior golf days a little bit. But
I don't at all.
But now
that's one thing.
Right?
I'm so glad I don't have to see these same faces every single day.
Right. So, but what I was going to say is now that you're into college, I'm more looking forward to seeing that and seeing you playing in big amateur tournaments and seeing what we can do, because we're just getting started.
Exactly.
I love you, buddy.
Love you too, bro.
Thanks so much for taking the time.
Of course. So
go ahead and give out your social platforms and so everybody can follow you.
Yeah, Instagram. We got to get my followers up.
Yeah.
I think you've got more followers than me. It's Nicklaus, Nicklaus, Sutton, and there's no S in Sutton. It's just UTTON, so it kind of goes together. And then Twitter. I think Twitter's the same thing.
I thought it was Nick Sutton 2019 or something.
Yeah, I think it's Nicholas Sutton.
I'll put it in the intro,
spelled the same way, and maybe 19 at the end.
Yeah, that's right.
I think that might be what it is.
Yeah,
but Instagram's really what.
Do you want anybody following you on Snapchat?
Not really.
No. Okay. All right. That's the as needed basis there.
Yeah.
All right. Cool, man. Well, thanks so much for the time,
sir.
And good luck in the future.
Appreciate it.
What's up, everybody? Guru back here again with a couple of things before you go. First, big thank you to my son Nicklaus for coming on the show and sharing his story that I hope will inspire a few junior golfers out there to keep going and to never give up. Make sure that you follow Nick on the gram and Twitter at Nicklaus Sutton. That's NICKLAUSUTTON if you want to reach out and say hello and thank you. Thank you once again to our sponsors, nvidhip.com. nvidhip.com. Log on and make sure you use the promo code GURU20 for a 20% discount for life. You can also follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Golf Guru TV. Make sure that you go to the App Store and download my Golf Guru app for all you golfers out there that want to improve and want to work with me if you can't get out to Carmel. Also, check out my website at golfgurutv.net, where you can find videos, articles, and more information on my teaching and coaching. And if you have a question or a comment about the show, email the show at golfgurushow@gmail.com or just hit me up on the DM. This show and all episodes of the Golf Guru Show were produced by myself, Jason Sutton. Music is by Kevin MacLeod and Zach Mullet, a.k.a. Cutta Beats. Leave me an iTunes review or a rating. Leave me a 5-star review. That would be awesome. Keep me in good graces with Apple. And as I always leave with you, the infamous Jim Rohn quote, something that I live by: study, practice, teach, and then pass it on. Thank you so much for listening. I'll talk to you next time.